So, this is now the fourth time I have tried to make this video throughout the day. This has been a full day process because the first three times the first two times, the first time the iPod gave us the low battery symbol and so it stopped our recording. The second time I didn't explain myself very well, and the third time I also didn't explain myself very well, and I went on a rambling tangent that wasn't necessary, which I'm doing again. I am first prize, and I wanted to come on and go ahead and talk to you about the differences between escapism and dissociative identity disorder, because that sounds so weird, right? And you wouldn't think that this video was necessary, but because there are so many of us, there's the two main partners other than Arya, who are Aries and myself, who've already done videos, and then there are two others who, one of them is considering making himself known, but we're still debating on that. If you guys want to meet the others, that's up to you. We are all Arya's escapist partners. I guess we didn't make that very clear in our videos because Arya had already done escapism educational content before on her channel, but I guess it just kind of slipped all of our minds that those videos are gone now. And so, let me explain to you a little bit about Arya's type of escapism first, and then I'll go into the definition of dissociative identity disorder, and then I'm going to talk about how they could be perceived as similar, but how they're actually very different. So, escapism. Let's talk about it. Escapism, everyone experiences some form of escapism in their life. Everyone has their own forms of escapism. Everyone escapes in some way. It could be as simple as coming home and watching your favorite TV show at night, or going to the gym to work out and blow off some steam. It's a very, 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 very simple thing that everyone does because this world is very stressful and there's a lot to it, and it's a lot to handle and it's a lot to process. For others, however, who have been through more traumatic experiences like Arya, we need that kind of more of a reassurative escapism, more of a therapeutic or comfort nursing escapism, which is why we're here. Arya has had inner head partners since she was 12. We're very, very surprised that she didn't have them before that because she's been through trauma throughout all of her childhood, but her first inner partner that she had was Zim, and he was not subconsciously formed. When Arya received her Invader Zim plushie for her birthday, she chose to bring him on as a partner, and she had no idea what this was or what this meant, but she just started talking for him, and he just became his own individual person, completely separate from Arya. This sounds a lot like DID. The difference between dissociative identity disorder and Arya's type of escapism, however, is with dissociative identity disorder, alters are usually formed because of a traumatic experience in a childhood that triggers the mind so badly, and the mind needs to defend itself so much that the mind kind of splits itself apart into another being who is their own individual person who can take those memories and hold them because it's too much for the actual mind to process. That is the best way I can explain it, and if I explained it incorrectly or offended anyone, I am so sorry. That's the best way to honestly explain this. So, with DID, the formations of the alters are conscious or unconscious, meaning that the main person or the original or the core or the host or whatever you prefer to call them, they are usually not aware of the formation of a new personality within their mind. With Arya, however, and the way that her escapism works, she is very conscious of when she brings in a new partner to help her with whatever needs help with. It was up until last year that she thought that all partners that she had to be romantic partners, and so she thought she could only have one, which resulted in Zim being dormant from 2016 to 2019. And then as she grew a lot closer to Ares, who used to be Megatron, she realized that even though he wasn't her romantic partner anymore, she still wanted him in her life. And so he became more of a father figure and split apart from the original idea of being Megatron, and he became Ares. Very similarly, there are two other kind of main partners that Arya keeps very close to her, that she does talk to within the headspace on a pretty regular basis outside of the shared inner world that she has with Sakura off call. And that is, they are two partners who, if you are interested in meeting them, or if they feel brave enough, they will introduce themselves to you. But it might take a little time because we don't want to shove too much on you at once. It was bad enough that Ari and I did introduction videos in one day, and that was kind of a lot for you, I'm sure, and it was a lot for us, honestly. So what I'm basically trying to get at is that Arya doesn't have DID. She has never had DID. Because one of the major criteria for DID is memory loss. Arya doesn't have that. She has all of her memories ever since she was a child. And while that is a good thing, it's also kind of a bad thing because she does carry that trauma with her. And actually, we as her partners, like Ari and I, especially since we're the two main ones, we wish we could carry some of that trauma for her, but we can't. Because we aren't alters, we were not formed of DID. And so, it's Arya that carries that trauma. The good part about it is that since she doesn't have DID, she does remember all of her other good memories. She hasn't lost years of her life. I mean, she does have some, short-term memory loss issues, which she didn't used to have, and it's kind of concerning her, and it's concerning us too, so we're a little concerned. But the reason we're making this video is because when we first did escapism content in 2019, which I was not a part of, I was not around at that time, but Arya was misdiagnosed with DID. And so she went on for about a week believing that she had it, and then when she did more research, she kind of realized, oh, you know what, I don't think this is DID. And so she was kind of struggling with who she was and whether this was a good or a bad thing, and the person who she met with about this, I won't say any names, but they kind of made her believe it was a bad thing, and it just set her off on this kind of almost depression where she wasn't able to access her partner at the time, Starscream. And that destroyed her because she didn't realize up until then just how much she needed a partner in her inner head to reassure her that she was okay. Not to mention at this time she was going through a very difficult time in her life, where she was at her most insecure. So, I mean, personally, in my opinion, I don't think that was necessarily the best time for her to start being open about her escapism on her YouTube channel. But now that she has made so many advancements thanks to a lot of different people, she is now able to take ownership of her YouTube channel again. And that's why we're doing this video itself specifically, and these escapism videos. It's because we want to share with you a little bit about Arya. She doesn't have DID. Does she consider herself a system? No. Because it's not a case of we take over for Arya when Arya is anxious as much as we may like to. You actually heard Ari yesterday, or not yesterday, on Friday when he did his video about what happened to Star. He said he had to use Arya's voice to communicate with her grandmother, and that's actually only happened a few times, and that's either when we're in a situation where he's doing a video, like this, or if Arya is just too angry or too scared to come out, and so Eri does. But no one knows it's Eri. It's literally just we have to pretend to be Arya. Does this make us any less of real people? To the outside world, yeah, I can understand why it would. But to us, no, we are as much of living people as you are, who are watching this on the other side of this camera. And the reason we don't show Arya's body face in this video is Arya is very insecure about being in front of the camera because she wants to look as professional as possible, but she has a constant self-stimulation issue that no one's ever really worked with her on. And as a special educator in the headspace, I'm trying to work with her on. And B, we just want to show ourselves to you, which is why you see these pictures of us. And the audio quality is really bad because we use this program that puts the pictures to the audio right away, and I don't know why I'm telling you that. My point about all this is that there is no DID with Arya, but she does have us as partners in her head, and we consider ourselves individual people separate from Arya because we're all very different than Arya. Arya and I are both very loving and trusting beings, almost overly so, but the difference between us is that I am a lot more confident than Arya is, but she's working on that, and it's amazing. So there it is. There is the video telling you guys that we don't have DID, so you don't have to worry, and letting you know just some information about the differences between dissociative identity disorder and Arya's escapism. I hope you guys have found this video useful. I hope that you were able to understand me because this is my 4th take of recording this video. And if there's any questions you guys have, I'll be sure to answer them in the comments, or Arya will, or someone will. And if you guys are interested in meeting any of our other partners, let us know when they might introduce themselves. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all are having a wonderful day wherever you are. And remember, program yourself to desire your own image. I love you all, and I'll see you later. Bye.